Tina, hi.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me on this podcast, The Courage to Fall.
I'm very excited to be here. You know,
Thank you.
it's like we go a long way. So
Don't we
yeah,
now?
I
Don't we
wanted to
now?
be I wanted to be on it.
We go a long way, don't we? Yeah, should we give a teaser to the viewers or listeners? We were in the same plate musical. We were in the same musical together.
We were we both acted in it, right?
Yeah, we acted, we
Yeah,
sang.
we sang, we danced.
Yeah,
That
multi-talented
was
Tina.
more than 30 years ago. If we don't want to give specific ages.
Give or take between 2 and 4 decades. Between 2 and 4.
God, decades is such a big word.
Yeah, better than anyway. For for whoever doesn't know the angle that you're going to take today, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, I'll try to compress it. Someone who loves life primarily. I'm very grateful for everything, this life has offered me so far. It hasn't been linear, of course, but I think this is what makes it enriching. This is what makes it exciting. This is what brings love, connections. I value a lot people, friends. I thrive on connecting with people, actually. And yeah, so this on a more of a maybe elevated level. On the ground, I'm a mom. I'm a career woman. I love cooking and baking. I have a lot of hobbies. I have a very big creative artistic side. And yeah, well traveled. Yeah, I'm in a good place in life, if you want to put it this way.
Oh, wonderful. Then we're done. There's no problems to solve. We're done. That would be the quickest podcast
No,
on the
we can go,
courage to
we can go
what?
back to the life is not linear. Uh,
Okay. Let's go to the part where life is not linear. How non-linear was it?
Hala, everything's relative, right? Everything is relative.
Yeah.
So, but from my perspective and my experience, I can say it's been manageable. Nothing outrageously non-linear,
Okay.
but I've learned a lot. So all those experiences, the difficulties, the challenges, the losses, the grief, and it doesn't necessarily relate to losing a loved one, but grieving over chapters of life. Yeah, teaches you a lot, and I think it's through those discomforts that we grow. And yeah, I mean, I'm 50. I'm not 20, so yeah. I hope by now I've learned a couple of things.
Five,
Right?
one per decade. What's the biggest, the one that strikes or the freshest lesson or something you learned and what triggered it? Something maybe not so obvious.
That we can always recycle ourselves.
Recycle.
Yeah, like transition from something that we thought it's here forever, or this is me, or this is how things are. But there's always a way to shift into something else. And I think this was a big eye opener because even in the most difficult moments, you think that's it. I'm down. I'm gonna be miserable. I'm gonna be unhappy. But then there's always a way to grow out of this into something equally beautiful, equally exciting. But just in the moment, we're just not aware that this exists. And I think this is why I'm someone who's very optimistic. And I always believe that we should cling on to hope because no matter how difficult things are, yes, in the moment they're hard. I'm not denying this. And there's pain and there's sadness or anger, perhaps. But I think with time and efforts, there's always a way to spin out of situation.
Zoom out, look at
Mm,
a Tina, if you can share, if you can share,
mm,
a version of a Tina before,
mm,
and something happened, and you're seeing her in a different way or in a recycled way.
mm,
I like the word recycle because say if you can share with us something?
Yeah.
If you
So I
can, if
think,
you can.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So I think that the one that stands out the most, if you want, if I look at my life as a timeline now in front of me, I think the biggest one was um in 2021, where in 2021, I thought, this is life, things were stable, this is it. And then in a space of few months, I had to uproot myself from my country. So did my kids, except that we didn't go to the same destination. So that was double uprooting for me as a mom.
Hmm. Hmm.
So there was the uprooting from a country that I've been for the past, good 20 to 25 years, with everything that comes with those 25 years. We're talking about relationships, connections, habits, family, and kids going to another country. So, when I left Lebanon, I'm currently in Abu Dhabi. So add to that the separation, or this um, déchirement, we say in French, which means the tearing. It's very expressive. The tearing from my kids. Add to that, becoming nobody here, new country. No, didn't have friends, didn't know people, no family around. So yeah, at the age of 45, you know, kind of like you're shedding your old skin like a snake, and you are
Hmm.
rebuilding yourself. I don't want to say from scratch, because obviously I didn't come with scratch. I came with a lot, but still. And so this process, this moment in my life, I think was the biggest time where change impacted it. And I had to really tap into my strengths, my skills, everything I've accomplished in my life, that makes me who I am, put all of this to use in order to rebuild a new life for me with those circumstances.
Recycled. So what
Mm,
part, usually recycling is taking pieces, right?
mm,
Either repurposing them for something else, or sometimes crushing everything and using the material to use it somewhere else. I'm not an expert on recycling, but I would like
mm.
to take that analogy and see, you were uprooted, everything got changed. What parts of you that you reached out to and you repurposed, recycled?
So the most obvious one is my career. So before leaving, I was in an industry. Maybe some people don't know, but I used to work in television for 25 years. And I was in a good place in my career. So yeah, that came to a halt. I'm not gonna take TV with me, and I'm not gonna continue doing it online. So this came to a halt. Now I'm very proud of a big decision that served me so well in my life that happened prior to this uprooting, which is in parallel to my TV work a few years before that.
Hmm.
I had started a new path and a new career. I was building it. And so by me moving, I was able to fall onto this, and this became my new career. So I totally transitioned from two very different industries. One is TV, media, entertainment, into personal development, coaching, trauma work, executive coaching. So yeah, that was a big recycle there. Let's say.
Yeah, and I could
Uh, hmm.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna move on to something else. Yeah, go ahead.
And my observation also, you were one to many. Like, your voice would broadcast everywhere. You were so public, and now
Mm,
you are so private, because
mm,
whoever talks to you, it's so private, and it's a one-on-one.
yeah,
So at least that format
yeah.
has changed.
Oh, yeah, very different, very different. But it's interesting what you just said, because there is something in common between those two. Is that when I was public,
Hmm.
I was very private in a way that I did not devour this public status, if you want. I wasn't living off it. It wasn't feeding me. So that
Hmm.
never became my purpose. My purpose had always been the craft of working in television. And it was never the glitz and glam, if you want, or being a
Hmm.
public figure or the fame.
Hmm.
So I think this grounding that I had all throughout my TV career just stuck with me. And maybe this is why today many people tell me, but how do you feel now you're not on TV? Do you miss it? Of course I miss it. Anyone misses their work, right? But it's it's not that I miss. It's not that the fact that I walk on the street and nobody recognizes me here that, make is a problem.
It's a blessing sometimes.
Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, so maybe this is why it wasn't difficult to exit this industry and move into something else. And of course, something I'd love to say here is that the new industry that I'm in, I don't want to call it industry, it's more of a service, being a coach, because I serve people I work with. It's very rewarding on a much, much deeper level.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of pluses into what I have become today, if you want, at
What
least
have
to
you?
my level of fulfillment.
So today, tell me more. Tell me more. Are you? Who are you? What are you doing? What's
So
keeping you busy all the
today
time?
I work mostly with people in one-on-one sessions. I love the intimacy of this work. I'm not interested in big trainings or group work. I work very closely with my clients. Most of them come from an executive background. This is how they are my clients. But of course, the work that we do goes into deeper, deeper, deeper levels. And I also have a big clientele that is directly related to trauma work, childhood, past experiences, triggers, behaviors. So in that work, of course, it becomes much more intimate and very impactful because people are going through change when they're with me in the session. And I feel so honored to be on this path, on a very personal path of each one of those persons that I work with. So this is why I find it very rewarding work. It's in a very intimate setting. It's like this behind my computer, in the intimacy of my headphones in my nice little office. I wish you can see it. And very different than TV work. Yeah.
Yet as satisfying and even more, as you said, deeper.
Yeah. Satisfying in a different way. In a different way. Yeah. TV is fun. It's exciting. You connect with people. I met a lot of people. You learn a lot. Um, I love presenting. I love, you know, connecting with people through a screen. It's so powerful. And I know that I was good at it, and I'm still good at it. And yes, this is why it's very rewarding. So it's a very different. Yeah, I can't compare the two levels of satisfaction, if you want. They come from different sources.
So I'm assuming you're a solopreneur, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So you run your own thing, you manage
yeah,
your own thing,
yeah.
and you have your executive clients and other clients. You're dealing with trauma issues, triggers. What was your word at the beginning? You said the ups and downs. What was it?
Linear,
Non-linear.
non-linear.
So tell me a little bit about the non-linear path in your current life,
Mm.
work, at work. What is what's something that's really challenging? Because yeah, I mean, it sounds wow. It sounds you're happy. You love what you're doing. Everything is going so well. I'm guessing there are one or two things
Of
that
course,
are.
there are challenges. Of course, there are challenges. I think it's just the way we look at things, right? I'm someone who looks at things, you know, half full and half empty. But no, we can't deny that there are challenges. There are difficult. There are setbacks at times. The challenges, one of them, I think it's the global recession is affecting coaching, just like any industry is affected. So as much as coaching is in demand and it's needed, but not everyone can afford it. So this is a challenge. Another one is the immediate availability of AI, social media, push button. You can get advice on things. And so from a user perspective, someone, who doesn't know what coaching really is, who doesn't feel it's worth paying this number of dollars on it, they think, okay, I found a shortcut. And it's quite unfortunate because it's not the same. And as much as AI is important and we use it in our work and it facilitates a lot of things, but it's not the same.
In what ways?
In what way? It can give you facts and analysis, but it doesn't hear the silence. It doesn't see where your eyes are going. It doesn't sense your level of energy or your drop of energy. So, yeah, and it will never be able to do that. And there's something incredible about two human beings connecting, even through a screen. We read each other's emotions. It's an exchange. It's an exchange. Even though coaching is not consulting, it's not giving it advice, it's not me telling you what to do, but you sitting with a coach who is the least they be doing is holding the space for you and being your mirror is very powerful. I know AI doesn't do that.
Let's open a parenthesis for
Mm,
just to define coaching, which you
mm,
did, but let's
mm.
stress it a little bit so that our listeners or viewers don't confuse it with
Yeah.
consulting, training, mentorship, therapy, whatever.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, coaching is a partnership. So as I said, and this is very important because social media can be misleading at times. It's not about telling you what to do or how to do it or giving you tips or giving you my personal experience. It's not about that. It's about the coach holding the space for you, this container, asking you powerful questions, noticing your body language, your silences, what you're saying, what you're not saying, sometimes, mirroring it back to you, helping you see a different perspective than the one you're holding about this challenge or this problem that you're talking about. And yeah, and helping you tap into you resolving this challenge. What can you pull out from yourself? You have a lot. You are a human being with so much, and nobody knows what's best for you besides you. So who am I to come and give you an advice, or your friend, or your wife or husband? So this is what a coach does. They help you dig in and pull up everything. Sometimes the ugly, sometimes areas that you realize, now I know why I'm like this, or now I know why I behave this way. And this is how the journey starts unfolding. Yeah.
Thank you. Going back to the challenge, that's good. That's
Yeah.
a good parenthesis we open. So going back to the challenge, I think they could be combined. The global recession is one, and
Mm.
the newly introduced AI angle to things. How affected are you personally with this?
It's hard to put a number on it. It's hard to put a number because I see what people see on social media and what, they have access to. I have access to it too. And it's very tempting and it's very easy, very accessible. So, if someone was thinking of asking for help or needed guidance or, wants to work on developing themselves, I'm sure many would revert to those methods rather than, you know, reaching out to a professional, to an expert. So of course it affects. But it's hard to measure that really. I think this will impact more as we move forward in life rather than now. But again, maybe people will realize what it's missing or what it's lacking. So yeah, again, we can't really predict in what direction things are gonna go.
Is there is there a risk for me to go and ask my favorite GPT or Claude or one of those about coaching related issues? Is there a risk to that?
Depends
Would it
what
do
you're
any damage?
asking. Well,
Would
depends
it
what the
do?
topics are. I mean, depends in what state the person is. If you're someone who's in distress and, asking for guidance on something, yeah, it might be a quick fix, for example. But will it resolve their issue and, where the roots of the issue? Not necessarily. I don't know if it's risky, but it can be misleading.
So the coaching business is disrupted by AI or will be even more disrupted by AI, if I hear you correctly.
This is my perspective. I don't know if
Yeah, it's fair.
current current research or studies affirm this. Maybe not, but this is what I'm seeing. So maybe this is an opportunity also for coaches to adapt to this trend or direction, let's say, that the world is going in, and not to, you know, shun and shut it out, but how to work with it, perhaps. But I personally, I work. with AI. I experiment with it, but I'm not that personally interested in this area. In this, so I can't say I'm much invested, if you want, in it to predict, you know, where is it gonna reach and in what way is it taking us. I'm not that into it, let's say.
I appreciate that. I always like the term human in the middle,
Mm,
human in the middle. And you were listing the energy, what they're saying or not they're saying,
mm.
how, where their eyes, where are they looking? You were talking about even on screen basis, let alone being in the same room
Of course.
and coaching your client. Would you at some point, being a user of AI, right? And you doing the traditional, in my opinion, right? Traditional, but the stable coaching methods. Do you think you could merge these two somehow or complement? Do you think you could reach a point where you could complement both?
I think they can, and I think they've already started. So maybe AI can, if you want, shorten a part of the coaching journey. So maybe
Hmm.
attend to specific needs, very,
Hmm.
very focused needs, requirements. So we're not talking about childhood trauma and you know, issues of those sorts, but maybe something more, you know, head topics, let's say, rather than heart topics.
Okay.
It's possible. It's possible. So
Hmm.
it could be like a start to this. It could be a good accountability buddy.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it can be, it is beneficial and it can be beneficial in many ways. And already many coaching platforms have integrated AI as a service. But as I said, in a very contained manner, let's say.
Interesting conversation.
Mm.
Interesting conversation. Want to see how hot is it with you? I mean, how urgent today? Is it urgent?
What
The
is
whole
urgent?
technology, the whole technology.
No, 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 no. Maybe I'm biased because I live and breathe the value of the work that I do. No, maybe it's hard for me. I don't feel the threat, if you want, not as immediate, not not that immediate as other industries. So, and yeah, and you get the feedback from the people you work with, right?
I Yeah, I had a podcast prior, and it has aired, and it has to do with AI. That's why I like very much what we're discussing. It had to do with AI, but in the modeling industry.
Mm,
In the classical way is to find the model, get the whatever she or he are going to
mm,
dress, and find the location, get the photographers, the whole production, shoot. And once you shoot that, then you take it, you put it in a catalog, and you try to sell, right? If you're one of these big brands or smaller
mm,
brands, whatever. This gentleman, Ziad Nassar, in the podcast, he was able to cut the cost by 90%. The shocker was when he was pitching his software, his platform, and they ask at the end, "So where did you find that model?" And the model was all AI, right?
mm.
The
Yeah,
lady was all AI, and
yeah.
no one could know. But
Mm,
it was a very disruptive. It is a very
mm.
disruptive for that particular industry. Maybe
Yeah.
because it is about the looks and the dresses, and right, we're
Yeah.
not talking about
It's
talking to the
it's
mind.
it's two-dimensional.
Okay, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
it is a certain dimension.
Yeah.
Coaching is deeper,
Yeah.
and you alluded to the fact that probably AI can take a portion of
Mm,
that coaching journey with the clients.
mm.
Would you look at it maybe one day that maybe you'll be helping even more people if AI can support you?
Maybe.
Maybe it is like you go to the dentist,
Yeah.
right? And the dentist goes in and does just what is
Specific job.
specific. He has a team or she has a
Yes.
team prior, prepare everything. And maybe gets you even happier and more reward.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. I'm very open. I don't know. We don't know, right? We're on this and we need to stay curious and open and go with the flow, right? We can't sit and resist to change. But yeah, only time will tell, I guess.
So maybe a new chapter is peeking at you. New professional chapter, right? Are you
Ah,
keeping
uh,
up? Are you
I don't
keeping up
know.
with this? Are you keeping up with the tech?
To a certain degree, to a certain
Okay.
degree, yeah, I can say I'm pretty tech savvy. I'm pretty quick in learning and grasping concepts. But yeah, talking, the everyday use of technology, nothing more sophisticated or demanding.
I'm trying to, poke you in different directions and saying sometimes the free spirited
Mm,
borderline nonchalance can be a bliss
mm.
in your case. You're just going with the flow and see what happens, and you're still doing your job well. When would it start hurting? When your wait list, when you lose your wait list for people to talk to you, maybe then, and you feel that you're using them to some AI
But you know,
tool out
Tony,
there.
we Lebanese have been through so many of those that you're just describing, those moments.
Okay.
I think I'm one of many who wouldn't be shocked if things changed, if your 5-year plan got disrupted. I think this is the resilience that we describe the Lebanese. I think this is it. It's how we deal with setbacks, how we don't allow it to crush us. I mean, hey, you, me, every person standing today, they've all been through setbacks, but they've all managed to get back on their feet, right? Isn't this what your podcast is about?
Yes, part of me is saying, wow, I like this. You're making me, I have tingles all over the place. But at the same time, I mean,
It hurts. Of course it hurts.
no, 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 no. I'm saying I'm a proud Lebanese, but I bet you there are other people out there who are as resilient. No?
Of course, but this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying we're the
Okay.
only one. I'm saying I'm one
Ah,
of many. Yes.
okay. Okay.
Yes. Of course. Of
So
course.
our experience is not disagreeing here. Okay.
No, no, I'm talking about most any human being. That's not limited to Lebanese because obviously it's
Okay.
not only Lebanese, right? Any
Okay.
human being who's been through a series of setbacks and managed to bounce back has built skills, know how, experience. Even your nervous system has saved familiar emotions, trauma,
Yes.
of course, plenty of them. And all this archiving of all of this is only baggage that will always serve you in the future. So what I'm saying is, yes, maybe end of this year I'm gonna go through something in life. God forbid, it might be a health setback. It might be, I don't know, I'm out of work, or it could be so many things.
La Samah.
And yes, it's gonna hurt, and yes, it's gonna cripple me and maybe, pull me down, and my life is gonna come to a stop for a while. But I believe, this is my belief, I believe that I will always find a way to move past it. And might take years, and it might never go back to what it was. But it is how to go through those harsh, difficult experiences and really, dig your claws into wanting to continue living. I don't want to give
You're
up on
true.
life, right?
I agree with you.
Yeah, you know. Um, so nobody's saying it's rosy out there. No,
Mm.
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, at my age, I moved to Abu Dhabi at age of 45. I had to make new friends. When was the last time you used those skills? When you were in high school,
Mm.
perhaps.
Mm.
You know,
And it's so difficult to make
it's so
new
difficult.
friends when you're an adult.
Exactly. So that skill of mine, it was sitting there, not being used, right? For all those decades in Lebanon where our friends are established since childhood, since
Forever.
younger age, from work, And so you tap into these. And I believe
Mhm.
everyone, and this is why I love coaching, because people realize how much they have and how much of that they can put it into use to propel themselves to something better. And we all have this in us, but we need to believe that. I believe that. I believe that. And I think once you believe that, once you believe how powerful us human beings are, there's always a way, you know, forward. And maybe the way forward is an end to things. It might be an end of a relationship, maybe an end of an era in a country like mine, for example. hey, this is life. And this is an opportunity to learn how to live with this ending because things do end.
As much as you do not devour the public glamour, you devour life. You eat life. You live it. You live it abundantly. Yeah, I mean, it shows. It's in your energy. It's in what you're saying, and
You
that's
know, we
refreshing.
we only have this life.
Do we? That's
That's for
for
another podcast.
yeah, all together.
Well, that would be a great surprise if there's something else waiting for
That's for a
us.
totally, totally, totally
But
other
I mean,
podcast.
this life
Yeah,
that we know, we're only here once, you know?
absolutely. In that state, with this vessel and call the body in this
Mm,
vessel and so on, we're once. True. And you inspired me even more to make use of every single minute and every
yeah,
single second to make use of this
yeah, yeah,
once in a lifetime. Yeah, one.
absolutely. Absolutely. This moment is only happening now.
The nice thing, we're recording it.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Tina, what a pleasure. What a pleasure. Is there anything you would like to leave us with?
I just hope people listening to this would believe highly of them, just a little bit. If they can just love themselves one notch higher,
Like 1%. 1%. Yeah,
1%, that would
yeah.
be amazing. Yeah, really. Trusting, trusting themselves. We are the best go-to person. We are the best cheerleader we will ever have. People come and go, kids come and go, partners come and go, but you're left with Tony for the rest of your
And
life. So you better love
absolutely.
him.
I'd better love him. Getting there, getting there. Tina, a pleasure. A pleasure. Thank you very, very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. That was a lot of
You
fun.
showed
And
every single part of the courage to fall, and I love it.
thank you. Thanks
See
for
you.
having me. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.